are back in the casting booth. Myself, Rivington III, and Xenon as Xenonington.
The casting Yeti.
The casting Yeti, yes, coming at you with an amazing game.
Wow.
Already TSM versus Epic Gaming, the brothers that go head to head. You know, they did a great job, and we heard TSM saying they have a little bit of trouble finishing games. We'll have to see if that comes into play a little bit later within the matchups that they have against these, you know, the teams that have made themselves apparent that they are top caliber teams. All of your team here is a top caliber team, but able to stay in the winners bracket and able to keep themselves afloat without having really any demotivation of the lowers bracket and having to crawl out of that. But still, the motivation of doing that itself really gives you a good charge and a good adrenaline boost.
TSM
so can come out stronger.
Yeah, but they absolutely do have a problem finishing games. We saw that against AAA. I mean, that's why they went for the base race, because they did not feel confident that they could finish the game normally. Second time, they waited too long. It just, you know, it dragged out too long. And actually, before we talk about any of that, can we please cut over to the telecaster? And we're going to talk a little bit about the game that we just saw. Yes, beautiful. So, first of all, I want to talk about the dragon fight, what actually happened here. This was quite amazing. Amumu was down here, and he was getting ganked. He was actually getting caught by the enemy team. And instead of running, which would be the normal escape path for him, he's like, no, I'm Amumu. I'm going to bandage toss in here, and I am just going to go ahead and ulti this entire area. At this point, his entire team was still, I don't know, I'm not sure, somewhere like in this area. Yes. So they were not
down
there.
A little more by Wraith, but yes, exactly. Just not ready for that to happen.
Exactly. So that didn't look like a good engagement. It was like, what is he doing? What is this? But it turned into a great fight. As soon as I believe Misfortune was, well, Misfortune came in through the river like this, able to do damage from behind. Then the most interesting thing happened, and that's why I want to talk about this fight real quick. Reggie ported in somewhere around here. I didn't see it exactly, and he did the exact right thing. He jumped on Misfortune right away. Misfortune actually doing too much damage for him, as the team fight just generally moved up into this area, into their main area here in the mid lane. And at this point, Misfortune and Reggie were chasing each other up through the bushes. I think actually... Yeah,
Westrice was doing a good job. And
absolutely.
Westrice almost had him. It was, I think it was below 100 health, especially with the proc of the bleeding.
But the problem is, at this point, they need the sustained damage output from Misfortune, and that team fight that we saw here actually happened. The 4v4 that happened here turned really strong in TSM's favor, because that Westrice was just not there, and Reggie was almost dead. He manages to flee this way, and at that point, his team was done with Epic, and they're here, right? And at this point, Misfortune's like, I almost got you, I almost got you. She comes out, he's like, oh, there's 5 guys. That wasn't so good. I better turn around. And then she just ran and died here. But this is very important. Sometimes you can chase down an important character for the enemy team, but always consider, if you chase down a character, that means that enemy is not going to be in the fight, but I am also not going to be in the fight.
Exactly.
Which team is going to be hurt more by that? In that case, it was clearly Epic being hurt. But now I want to talk about this because, God, I love that Dyrus. I love that Singed playing Dyrus.
Yes.
That was just, it was beautiful.
Singed playing Dyrus. Dyrus playing Singed.
No, Singed playing Dyrus. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
There you
yes,
go.
Indeed.
So what happened
well
here?
Played, sir.
Yes, there was a, I think it was actually the Rain Man who came through here and started
Timo was
attack.
up in that position.
Yes. So Reggie was like, oh yeah, I'm going to teleport in and I'm going to totally turn that fight around for us. He teleported in up there. He started doing massive amounts of damage. But then there was like, you teleport, I have a teleport here too. He teleported to the minion roughly here. At that time, the main fight was here. But Reggie's still standing somewhere there. And all of a sudden, what happens is Dyrus goes straight for Reggie. And Reggie had good AP burst, but at that point, Dyrus had a Force of Nature already.
Yeah.
So he's just not going to care. Force of Nature, he has his ulti. And the two of them started doing the dance here. Reggie totally taken out of the fight for this one. His team losing the fight pretty handily down there. Oh, that wasn't supposed to be an arrow, but you get the idea. And Dyrus taking down Reggie 1v1 actually here.
Also in bot lane, he had a situation as such too. So
pretty much exactly
going
the same
2 for
thing.
2 on those.
Yeah. So you cannot really 1v1 Singed as Twisted Fate. That's what we learned. And final situation. This is something that I unfortunately missed, steering the camera. There was a very nice team fight here that I was paying attention to. Again, not me to this one. There we go. It's a very nice team fight here that I was paying attention to. At the same time, Reggie, where was he potting in? There,
it was
maybe?
very, very close. He was trying to go for that end kill, but
yes, and
a little too close for comfort.
Exactly. He was just making his way over there and trying to dodge the attack. He stepped into the fountain.
Laser pew-pews.
There are no lasers in League of Legends. There are no lasers in League of Legends, but a sudden bright light that also hurt a lot. Hit him there. Beautiful, beautiful play from both teams. I'm just going to cut back to the scoreboard for just 1 second here. As we can see, that Reggie, he had the power to backdoor with the Lich Bane and with the Rabbit and Staff Cap. Wasn't really using that. We see, no, he did destroy four buildings, but it was never really a backdoor. And Drainman just had to carry him, and he did it so beautifully. I saw the team scrimming earlier in the day, and I was talking to Raymond and was like, dude, how are you going to see your team? He's like, nah. So I got totally baited there. Also, double lift. You promised me a blitzcrank.
What was the Rayman's pick before he went back to Teemo again?
Jarvan.
Yes.
Completely straightforward expected pick. Also a top laner that just makes sense as a tanky DPS. But Teemo. We saw a Captain Teemo, and I saw Freak dancing off camera. He was like, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
but pretty much the whole entirety of the first part of that matchup, Freak was dancing and split his face open ear to ear.
I believe we're going to go to a short break soon.
We are. Make sure you're back here at 8:30. That is 19:30.
But before you leave, before you close the stream down, we're going to have a super special treat for you after a very short commercial break. There are threads up in the European and the North American forums right now, and these threads are called Ask Gragas a Question. And you know what? The champions of the league are very busy, being summoned into the Summoner's Rift all the time to fight out all these political battles for powerful summoners. But Gragas managed to get a few minutes away from his busy, busy schedule. And after the commercial break that I believe we're going to go in very soon, Gragas himself is going to be here. And I believe you are going to have a discussion with a quick conversation with a tree Eskimo.
A tree Eskimo, yes. They're very rare.
They're very rare.
Yes, they can find their way up into a few trees.
But that's going to be after Gragas.
Sure.
So we are going to have a Gragas here who is going to answer your question after this very short commercial break. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
I'm Nikasor, and I'm here with Linda, whose summoner name is Piet Cold, and she made this amazing Katarina art for us. Show it off. Thank you so much. It's made out of watercolor, and it's absolutely incredible. It's one of the only submissions where someone actually came up and gave us some real art. I'm so jazzed about it. So tell me a little bit about how you actually came to DreamHack.
My friends got some free tickets, and my birthday is tomorrow, so I thought, like, why not? Yeah.
Your birthday's tomorrow? You seem to be having a good time, because I think both of our voices are just slowly going away. I think it's been that kind of time. So tell me, how long have you actually played League of Legends?
For about a month.
Only a month?
Yes. One of my best friends, she's like, come on, you should play with me, I'm all alone here. So, yeah.
Well, that's crazy. So what inspired you to make this kind of art?
I was watching the Riot Games at YouTube, and you came up with the SoloMid showcase.
Really?
And I really wanted to be on.
Really? Oh my God. I have a fan. This is fantastic. So why did you decide to paint Katarina?
Because she's so awesome. She's so OP. If you get a lot of kills in the beginning, like, nobody can kill you.
That is fantastic. All right, thank you so much. We're really, really glad to have you here. And thank you. All right, back to you guys.
Do you see this one? Do you see this man right next to me? First of all, let's get one thing out of the way right away. He is not actually my son.
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to break it to you this way, but please just be strong for the rest of the interview. We love you the same, even though you've been slightly adopted and I never met you before.
I hate you.
No, I know. I heart you.
Okay,
well, in that
I will
case,
forgive you, yes.
All
yes,
right, okay. So, you are actually Gragas, we heard.
Yeah.
Yep, so there's a couple of people who have questions for Gragas. For instance, what is your favorite drink to put into a barrel?
My own homemade
Oh.
kukułówka. You take
Okay.
the kukułówka sweets into a water, you dissolve them,
Okay.
and then you add spiritus. You mix that.
Spiritus. Is that usually used for cleaning?
No, it's meant for drinking.
Okay, okay. But I guess you can clean with it too.
Yeah, you mix it, you leave it in a dark place, and after a few days you filtrate it because there's something floating on the top always, and then you drink that. It's tasty.
So that's what you would put into that big old water.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it was empty.
Ah.
It's only made in Poland.
Ah, yes. You're already powered by it. Very good.
Yeah.
Another question from the forums. When does happy hour start?
After, if we win.
After you win. That's very good. That's a very reasonable answer. I like that a lot. We're going to have a couple of serious questions as well. So there's another person in the forums asking, which is your actual favorite champion? Is it Anivia? Is it Gragas? Is it even Alistar? Or is it something completely different? And I think I know the answer. But go ahead.
Gragas and Alistar.
Gragas and
Both
Alistar?
of them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought a little birdie told me that you have a crush on robotic ladies.
Well, Oriana is also pretty cool, but yeah, Gragas have been so long with me together with Alistar.
Yes. There's a loyalty thing going on there, so that makes absolute sense. Do you have an evil laugh like Xenon?
No, my laugh is pretty cute.
You have a pretty happy laugh, don't you? That's pretty good. Another forum question, we actually had a couple of threads up about this. And, you know, personally, I'm also very interested in this. Are you ever going to start streaming? Because there's I think one or maybe two people out there who'd like to see that, possibly.
Yeah, probably. After DreamHack, yeah.
So in case you win a little pocket money, you should be able to beef up that CPU and invest it wisely into more gaming.
Yep.
Yes, that's how we do it. Okay, let me see. Do you have any other good questions in your thread there? Oh yeah, here's a good question. How come when you body slam through trees, they never fall down? How does that work?
I'm kinda soft, and when I go through trees, I just go slim and go out.
That's good. It's a Gragas jelly.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's exactly the answer we were looking for. Do you actually have a favorite player out there? Is there any other League of Legends player you'd say he's your idol? Somebody that you'd say is really a strong player?
Peke?
Yeah.
I just love the guy.
Ah, man.
Especially to play with him. It's like, yeah.
We saw the difference was day and night when you were actually playing with him. No offense to Weevil Fader, he's a good player too, but there is that, you know, that telepathy between you.
Well, Will Ferrer just didn't play his role.
Yeah, he's a support
that was
player.
the problem.
Yeah, that's...
Because he's a very good support player.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just asking somebody to switch their role up at the last moment,
it's
not ideal.
Still, without him, we wouldn't be here.
Yes, absolutely. And if you'd been in Group B fighting San, you'd probably also not be here. What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't played them, so I can't say that.
That's true. All right. How and when did you learn English? Probably in school, right?
Actually, well, I had English in school, obviously, but the most of my vocabulary, for example, comes from games. When I was small, I was playing Civilization 2,
yes.
and I always asked my dad to translate me, and he said...
And I did?
The other dad.
You have a dad besides me. So,
yes.
So this is very, very shocking to me as well right now.
And he said, no, you need to take vocabulary and translate that yourself. And
okay.
That's why I started remembering things.
That's very good. Wow. Okay, so here's a request from Joe. I am to give you my glasses and just see exactly how much you look like me.
Okay.
Have a look. Let's have a look at that. Oh, wow. It's
Hello,
uncanny.
that's Daniel from there. Hello, Sushi. How are you?
Yeah. I don't know how to play Gragas.
Fake.
Yes, I must be a fake after all. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, there's something uncanny going on here. Tell us a little bit about your career in e-gaming. You started out, you're really coming out on the big stage, I believe, at the EMS last year.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us for anyone?
No, I wasn't playing EMS.
Oh, you were not playing EMS?
No, because that time I was still in the old SK team.
Oh, yes, it's the one that got dissolved
Yeah,
at the
we
time.
had some issues and
okay.
we actually forfeited second round,
I
think.
see. When was it that you introduced your AP Alistar to the scene?
That was to the scene. First time was at the CLG showdown
oh,
tournament.
yes, I remember that.
Together with my team.
That was the quadra kill show tournament.
Yeah,
oh man,
yeah.
Lichbane team, right?
Yep.
I plugged it in the stream. Is it Rabadon Lichbane or just straight Lichbane?
Rabadon, Lichbane, because Lichbane doing like first, you don't have.
Yeah,
much.
you don't have the AP.
It doesn't give you the
80
much.
AP,
Yeah.
so yeah, you might as well just build a sheen. Yeah, but Rabadon Lichbane, amazing backdooring, but also nobody expects that burst from Teemo.
And the shrooms.
What's the best Teemo skin? Let's just get it over with.
Easter Bunny.
Yes, yes, very nice, Easter eggs. Okay, let's have a quick look and see if there's any more good questions here in the forums. Ornament asks, marry me. I don't think I'm going to allow that as your father. Please, don't just marry me.
Depends.
Oh, he is open to the suggestion, Ornament, so, you know, you may be able to actually do that. Do you have a girlfriend? Let's not go there. This is, no, I'm not, no, okay. I am not going to go into that at all. Anything else that you like in your thread there?
Maybe this.
All right, go ahead. What made you experiment with characters that weren't so often used? For instance, Gragas or AP Alistair. Were you worried at all about not doing so well with these off-standard builds?
No, because I actually like to do something that people doesn't like. Do something original because it's fun. Like they go, oh, it's AP Gragas. Hey, he gonna suck. Oh my God, this burst. what is it?
Yeah. So that's obviously you're known now for making AP builds, and you promised me something once that you didn't deliver on yet. I have yet to see a pure AP karma from you in tournament play. Why isn't it working?
She kinda compared to other APs, she lacks the CC, which is kinda hard to
Yeah, I understand. What kind of music do you listen to? With the long hair, the suggestion is obvious, but let's just go ahead.
Rock, like AC/DC, of course, punk, classical music, film music, metal.
Good.
Yeah,
I do approve.
I even play on drums, but not very well.
On drums, yes, you do. Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't you tell me you played in a jazz band or?
In rock and roll band, like AC/DC.
Okay, but it's at a bar that's known for its jazz, isn't it? El Jazz. No?
We didn't play there.
Oh, you didn't play in El Jazz yet. Okay, all right.
I had to hold the band practice because of this DreamHack.
Well, that's probably good prioritization there. If XPK had prioritized like that and said, I don't need to go and write my exam, I can fly early on Friday, then you would have just breezed through this.
Well, the issue here was probably his mother. My mother wouldn't let me skip the exam either.
Yes, I see. Okay, so one last question from me then. What's your prediction for the grand finals? First of all, who are you going to be up against, AAA or TSM?
It's a hard question. I hope AAA.
You hope?
Yeah, because we haven't played against TSM and it's kind of hard to... Because we know how we played against AAA, so we have the feeling how they play. We just feel it how they play. And against TSM, it would be like huge unknown. It would be the same for them, of course, but...
Right.
Yeah.
But obviously you would only need to win one game, whereas they would actually need to win 2 games. All right?
Yeah.
So, why do you and me look like twins? And that, dear viewers, is a mystery we are not going to explore ever.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time here on stage, Gragas. Thanks very much also for that cosplay. That was epic. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in so far. Don't go anywhere. We are going to have the next match at 19:30. We're going to have Tree Eskimo up on the stage here very soon, talking a little bit about the North American view on this. Tree Eskimo, great player, great streamer as well. Start streaming.
I will try to.
All right. We're going to have that for you, and that's going to bridge you over to 19:30 when the next game is going to happen. AAA against TSM. It's going to be ridiculous. I would like to sign off here already. This is going to be the last you see of me for this weekend. Thanks very much for sticking around. Thanks very much for indulging me with my stupid noob voice. Thank you very much to everyone who tuned in and gave us these record numbers. And we're going to cut to a small commercial break right now, and then we're going to be back with Tree Eskimo. See you all.
See ya.
DreamHack is here and our live coverage has begun. Over the course of the event, you can visit the Season 1 Championship website for lots of exciting updates, including matches streamed live with professional commentary, pre- and post-game interviews with the competitors, tournament brackets that update as games finish, photos from the show floor, and much, much more. So head on over to the event site and learn more about the League of Legends Season 1 Championship at DreamHack.
Welcome everybody to the League of Legends Season 1 Championship Top 10 highlights of the day. We're going to start off with number 10. As we come into the game, we have Fnatic taking a 5v0 on Dragon, but Epic is close by. We're going to see what they can do. And oh, the Blitzcrank pull on to Karth is pushing him back across. And Doublelift going to keep him CC'd a little bit as he runs back into the team fight. But look at that. Jarvan's so low. The flash kill coming in from Doublelift. Great play there. And now comes the rest of the team fight as Malzahar going to jump in onto Ashe. And Nunu with the flash ult as well. Going to meet a very, very dead Ashe as that blows up. And Malefic Vision picks up the rest of that kill. Doublelift getting separately though. Going to keep chasing onto Xuxe. Unfortunately though, he will flash across the wall and the hook will miss. But Vayne putting out tons of damage, picking up more kills and more kills as they push down across the map, picking up everything. The Karth will in fact miss, not pick up a single kill, and that's a 2v0 basically win right there. Great play by Epic. To number 9, we come into the game, and Vladimir is going to be squaring off against Rumble. Both players quite low on health. Mimo coming in from the side, trying to pick up on Vladimir, but can't get it. And there comes the Vladimir ultimate, jumping in, hits one transfusion, and here comes Rumble, going to drop the ultimate down, but another transfusion, and then the blood pool comes down. Completely juking all the damage, comes out completely safely. Great job there by Vlad. Number 8 comes on, and here we have a team fight up by this turret, and it looks pretty good for Team SoloMid so far, and here comes the battle. They're going to jump in there. The fear will not come in, and it's Malzahar dropping the ultimate onto Zilean, but it won't be enough damage, and now Jarvan in the front, pinned to the wall by Janna, but it's okay. He's going to jump right away onto Malzahar, picking up Malzahar pretty easily, and then immediately on as he moves on and picks up Corki. That's going to be 2 kills right off the bat. Janna going down to an ignite, and now can anyone else get away? Super low on the hit points, but the Zilean ult is going to keep Nocturne from being afraid. He's going to go ahead and jump on, picking up that kill as Chaox on the Nunu. That's going to be a 4 versus 0 kill score right there. Number 7, the team fight will start. A summoner teleport, the flash, and the damage out, but this looks so bad for Chaox. Malzahar comes in as well. He's going to drop from full to dead with wonderful coordination, and Nocturne showing up a little bit too late, and nothing's going to happen there. Number 6, Clip, and Wart coming in the middle of the map, hitting the turret, fighting against Taric and Nocturne, chasing Jarvan back into his own turret. He's going to walk back out of range. He's got that Frozen Heart. They're giving him a ton of armor. Going to keep lasting these minions, but he sees Taric trying to recall back. He says, no, I don't really want you to do that. He's going to walk actually through the turret, take a stun, but doesn't really care. He's getting, he's losing some health, but he's got so much armor. He's going to last at a few more minions, get a lot more health coming in. He wants to go once more as we watch the dragon go down. He's going to go ahead and just harass again in the middle of the lane, and again Taric will lose that recall. The stun and the fear comes out, and it just still does not matter for Warwick, who just takes a siphoning strike and is perfectly fine walking away from a 1v3 underneath the turret. Number 5, and here is the team fight at Baron, and this is going very, very well for them. But Clairvoyance goes down. There's the Ashe and the Flash, and here they go, gonna find Janna across the map. Giant crits coming out, and that is a dead Janna and a free Baron. Into number 4, and here comes Annie waiting in the wings to jump down onto Sona and Ashe for Against All Authority. And there comes the Tabers, there comes Disintegrate, Incinerate, and the rest of the damage output. And that is a completely dead Ashe right there. And actually, Annie calculating the damage she will take from that turret, walking away safely, even last hitting a minion on her way out. Number 3, Clip comes in. There we go, some harassment coming off. Looks like they're gonna push back and forth against each other. And oh, here it comes, Team SoloMid pushing up towards the top, and AAA actually deciding to leave that to them, and they're going to run towards the middle of the map. And yes, TSM is in fact going to engage with a base race against the Authority. Now TSM does have to kill through a turret right there, but they have a giant wave of minions. AAA going to just fight against a Baron inhibitor, but the turret will go down first, and they are now both facing that inhibitor with nothing to defend them. Looks like TSM will pick that one up basically at the exact same time. Kuja coming in there, but here comes the Alistar, who's going to flash into range, using that ultimate to tank out and get some extra damage up, but they are ahead right there. They're the first one to kill the turret. They're the first to kill the secondary, and then now they are on to the Nexus right now, and they're just ahead by about half a Nexus health. And yes, TSM will win game 1 with a complete base race right there. A wonderful job by them. And you can see just the looks of relief and just amazement on their faces. Number 2 clip comes in, and it's going to be a team fight in the top of the map. Anivia taking a bit of damage, going to wall off the noob, but not get a lot of damage out of that. Will drop an Ice Blast, getting some damage. We'll pick that one up with the Ignite just barely. So now Anivia has Golem buff. The rest of the team is showing up. Reginald going to drop Tibbers on top of Anivia. It's going to be a lot of damage. She's healing with the Catalyst, though, and here comes the rest of the team fight. Looks like Annie is not in great shape right now. Vladimir coming in to help as well, and the rest of the damage output comes in, and Anivia will pick up a triple kill there. Now has to be very afraid of the minions. We'll put down the Glacial Storm and walking away with just a little bit of health left. The number 1 clip of the day, though, is after a team fight concludes in the bottom of the map, both teams losing 2. It's going to be Shushay looking to be very aggressive against Malzahar. He looks there. There's the flash, the headbutt, the pulverize. That is a kill right off the bat. Getting exhausted and pushed back by Vladimir, but here comes Ash as well. The arrow will come out. The splash damage will pick up Soraka and stun this Vayne back against her base, and Ash will dive the turret, picking up the 3 kills. It's going to give them the free turret and inhibitor. That would have been a 3v3 against the turret, but instead it's a 3v0. A wonderful play by these guys. Shushay leading that one up. Thanks for tuning into these highlights. We hope to bring you more great moments today, so stay tuned for the stream.
Here we are back in the casting booth. Myself, Rivington III, here with True Eskimo. How are we doing?
Doing good.
Sounds good to me. What do you think about the matches so far, all the way from Saturday, all the way here to Monday now, we're towards the finals? What has been, the peak for you? What have you been enjoying, and what have you been like, oh my God, how did this happen? I did not expect it from that team.
I mean, I guess the whole tournament's been awesome so far. The teams have really shown up to play. I actually don't get excited about that much competitive play because I play a lot myself and I can be like, oh, well, that was a mistake. Oh, that was really good.
Right.
But these matches, like, literally, it's very few mistakes. And the ones that are mistakes are, like, they're forced into making the mistake. It's like 3 moves ahead, someone has done something that's normally right, but someone else has done something that made it so that the right move is wrong.
Right,
and that's,
exactly. Yeah.
It's really exciting, actually, to be here, and the matches are just of such high quality. It's great.
What has been the highlight so far? What is the turning point of these matches? A lot of them where a team may be getting that head, and then it just goes awry for them.
Well, a lot of the matches have actually, like, in terms of comebacks, it's been Ash Arrow, like, very largely, like, in all these matches where someone's, like, way far behind, they get, like, that one arrow, and, like, they'll be shooting them all game, and the one arrow hits, it makes them fight out of position, and in order to come back, you really need to fight either a 5-on-4 or a 5-on-5 where they have bad positioning, or at your turret. And I mean, these teams, they aren't going to fight at the turret. They aren't going to get out of position by themselves.
Right.
So you need some way to force that to happen, and Ash Arrow's been all the way through the tournament causing that to happen.
The picks and bans, any of them that have shocked you or just been totally out of place? I mean, I know Shushay has been getting bans targeted at him the whole entire time. How do you think about that?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised to see Gragas used so much because I don't think he's used very much in the US meta. I guess I haven't been paying attention or whatever, but Shushay's getting these targeted Gragas bans. There are some targeted other bans that are just really surprising, and Gragas has been showing up to be extremely powerful. I was actually a little bit surprised to see Aurelia banned so much, and also everyone's, I guess, player-specific champions are really getting banned, like West Rice's Akali. Was expecting to see Dyrus' Singed banned after those last couple of games.
Yeah, it almost gave him a really big problem there, and they were able to work around it and not allow Dyrus to really do too much damage after. I mean, he has had one of the highest creep scores in the game, as we saw in that last one. Something I want to touch on is, Daniel mentioned it a lot, Xenon, when we were going through the games, that, Rumble was being banned quite a bit and was actually used in quite a few matches when allowed to. What's the deal with this?
All right, well, actually, I was one of the early on people to notice on US servers that Rumble is really, really powerful. All of his AP ratios are extremely high. I'm like 70% win with him on US solo queue at, I don't know, 2200 elo or so. And just basically, Rumble gives you such lane dominance that in the solo lane, he can almost never lose, especially top. And then on top of that, he has a 1.5 AP ratio on his Q, which is a 6-second cooldown. So when you think about like players with ultimates, you look at Veigar's ultimate or Malzahar's ultimate or one of these really powerful casters, they have maybe a 1.5 AP ratio on a single target, long cooldown ultimate. And Rumble comes in with like this 6-second cooldown AoE that's like, oh yeah, 1.5 AP ratio. That's allowable, that's doable.
Yeah, pretty good. What do you think about when West Rice went and chose Tristana, and they already had, I believe it was an MF on the team, the double AD. How do you feel about that?
I actually think I might have missed that game. Was that the first game of West Rice? And
yes.
Yeah. So I missed that game, but double AD in general, it really depends. Did they end up picking up Taric?
No.
No, well,
Tarek
double
was
AD
actually
without Tarek.
No, not in that game.
That's a lot weaker than double AD with Tarek. Like, Tarek's ult is really powerful if you can get 2 ADs on the team. It just, the AoE damage that it adds to everyone, like, a lot of people don't even notice it, but with 2 ADs, it really stacks up. But without Tarek, that could definitely put you behind because armor stacking and health stacking is a lot easier than MR and health stacking.
Yes.
And ADs normally have to put out their damage over a longer period of time. Whereas when you stack like double caster or something, you can try and burst someone down like a key target because you can just throw all your spells right away.
Right.
So double caster is normally a lot stronger in the meta because that burst potential that the double AD really can't get.
Now let's throw it over to Team SoloMid. Do you think they were going to switch out Jarvan for Teemo? How did you feel about that?
I had, I guess, some interesting mixed feelings about that. I know Rain Man's Teemo is actually very good. I've played a lot of Teemo. He's one of my most played champions. I thought he's actually really powerful. The control that he gets between mushrooms and blind. And it looks like they were trying to do some kind of split push comp with Teemo and TF. I actually talked a bit with the team. But that didn't really get to come to fruition because basically Singed is also really great at split pushing. And I guess Epic just had great control with the split pushing with Singed and the other 4 together. They basically held their advantage. They got an early advantage. And then, as I was saying before, that Ashe arrow. Giant arrow hits Janna. They get a big 4-on-5
right down
fight.
by the Wraiths.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was definitely not a good thing to have happen to them. How do you feel about the North American favorite, CLG, being out? Where did you see their faults within this tournament?
I mean, CLG actually showed up and played pretty strong. A lot of the North American teams were coming to me and saying, I don't know how strong they're going to be. They might not be at their top form. CLG even said they didn't get as much practice as they would have liked or didn't practice. They played lots of solo queue games. But I expected probably things to end up kind of how they're ending up now. I thought North American might give a little bit better of a showing. I wasn't sure between CLG, Epic, and TSM who would be the top team coming out until I saw the qualifiers, and CLG didn't seem to show up as much to that as I thought they would originally. Largely, I guess, CLG just had some problems. They missed some crucial Sona ults in some games where I saw Sona flash in and just whiff an ult on everyone, and there were a couple other mechanical errors where I'm just like, well, you can't really do that and try and compete with the top teams in the world.
Right. So we're going to have that AAA and SoloMid matchup again. That's against All Authority. What do you think they're going to really do coming into this one? Any bans that you might think are going to come out right away?
I'm actually not sure. I think that Ashe is going to be looked at more heavily between the teams because I've actually been trying to raise awareness to that, as with some other people. Like, Ashe has a huge winning record in the game, and I think, like, as a North American team supporter, because I'm from North American servers, I want to see our servers do well.
Favoritism.
Yeah, I know. So much favoritism. I mean, the Europe teams have showed up. They're winning right now, so they're playing much better.
They are playing better.
Yeah. But, I mean, as a supporter of that, I want to say, like, look at how powerful this Ashe is. Look at how Ashe has been doing in all these games. You guys need to respect the power of Ashe kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think
it's such a utility she has. Even if she doesn't go instantly for that AD right in the beginning, she can still facilitate a bunch of team fights, and people just don't realize that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, in terms of an AD carry, she's not as strong as, say, the MF, the Tristana, the so on. She doesn't have the killing power. She doesn't have the, I can stay really far away and hit you. She doesn't have mobility. But she makes up for that with her one ultimate called Arrow that can completely change a game. Yeah,
it's definitely awesome. Triaskimo, thanks for taking the time to spend us up here. I believe we do have an interview with the WCG Sweden team that just qualified here in Sweden. They were able to take it away. We're going to go ahead and throw that over to the tournament area and check that out.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. It was really good to see Triaskimo on camera. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I love him.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're here with the WCG qualifier winners, the team from Sweden going to WCG. What's your team name? What happened? Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
All right, hello. Our team name is Jantelaget. It's a Swedish word, rather a play word, so it's going to be a bit tricky to explain in English, so we'll leave it at that.
What does it mean?
Well, it's a word, play on words, of course, of the public right of access.
Ah, okay. Well, let's get a quick team introduction here. Obviously, you're down a member. I guess he's traveling already?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Martin Ek, or the nickname is Maka.
Who's your favorite champion of choice right now?
I guess it's TF, to be honest. Yeah.
Hello, hi, I'm Rookie Eriksson, aka Sami, and I suppose my favorite one is Janna, probably. That's the one I feel most comfortable with, at least, yeah.
And for you two, can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us who your favorite champion is?
Yeah, I'm Rashasi, and of course Malphite is my favorite champ.
Great, and you?
I'm Kestrel, and my main is Caitlyn.
Awesome, and you guys are, all Swedish team, right? So what cities are you all from within here in Sweden?
I'm from Växjö. Linköping.
I'm from way up north, Luleå.
Representing Örnsköldsvik.
So obviously we didn't get to watch the game. We've got games going on here. So maybe tell us a little bit about that final game that put you into the WCG. What happened? What were your picks and bans like? And your overall strategy going into that?
I didn't really hear it, so maybe you could answer.
All right. Well, we spent a lot of time considering the picks and bans actually, because most of Europe at least knows, the server was down for the most part last night, so we didn't have much time to actually practice and perfect our strategies. So we spent the time considering picks and bans instead. Our general idea was to kind of get rid of those easier to play champions that can actually destroy an uncoordinated team. So we wanted to get rid of Rumble and Warwick mainly, so we didn't have to face them, because Lanewick is a pain. It's a pain to face, as most of us know. And regarding picks, we just wanted a strong pushing team where we could just go and pick off the towers one by one until we reach Nexus and we win. So we managed to get, I think we managed to, both games in the finals at least, we managed to get a very solid setup, and the result is a proof of that.
Anything you want to add?
I think one of the strengths with our team is that it's really hard to ban us out, because we play so many different champions and could play almost the same setup with different champs, like using Brand or Mal's. It's almost the same type of a champ. You can poke from a distance and so on. So I think we have a good thing going.
Awesome, okay.
Now we're here on day 3 of the Season 1 Championships. Have you guys had a chance to get to watch the game so far? If so, I've seen, some of these teams are probably going to be your competitors at WCG. What are your thoughts so far on the competition?
The competition is really hard. We will have a hard time in Korea, for sure. I think I'm mostly going there to have fun. I don't think I can compete with other teams, to be honest, because they are really stable and really good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of these teams may not have seen you play yet, so they'll be very surprised by what you do as well. So, it'll be great to see that type of matchup. And how about you? Any surprises here at, at DreamHack so far?
Maybe that CLG lost and got whatever it's called out of the tournament so early.
Yeah, that was a big surprise for us as well.
All right, well, take a big look, world. This is your team from Sweden that will be representing in the WCG. You'll see them again. Get used to them. These are some of the faces you're going to be seeing later on this year. Kicking it on back to you guys.
Hi, this is Montag from Riot Games. They're holding me hostage in the Riot offices all weekend, and I only have a second to get this out before they find out I'm here, so listen up. Follow @RiotPendragon and @RiotTamant for some awesome stuff coming up. Look out for chances to win the exclusive Viking Tryndamere skin, and get involved in all the shenanigans going on at DreamHack. If we get enough followers, I might be able to escape while they celebrate. I might be able to get another message out then. I don't know. They keep saying things about cake. I've got to get out of here.
What are you doing?
They picked Teemo. They picked Teemo. They picked Teemo.
Actually, Freak said to me, why do they always get to cast the best games? By best games, he meant Teemo was picked.
They picked Teemo and he won and he carried. That was fun. I was glad to be.
Yeah, so this game now we're gonna see definitely Teemo being banned, right?
It might happen, but that's okay because I accept that they can't pick Teemo if Teemo's banned. It just means that giving Teemo the respect he deserves. The captain
played one, won one.
The captain,
that's
yeah.
It.
Teemo and Gangplank both undefeated. Mordekaiser as well.
The stats show it all, actually.
The stats show it all. It's totally statistically significant.
Yeah, so coming up anyway will be the third place playoff, or there are so many names for it actually, but all you need to know is that the loser will be finishing third, and the winner will be going through to the grand final to take on Fnatic.
Indeed. And a couple of things going on here, just so you guys know. Because of how the tournament structure worked, Team SoloMid has fought against All Authority once before, and Against All Authority won that series. So, while it would normally be a best of 3, for example, if Epic went through, Epic has not fought AAA in the brackets, as far as I know. Or am I incorrect on that one?
In the groups.
They fought them in the groups, but not in the brackets. So if Epic had moved on, it would be a standard best of 3. But because TSM has fought AAA before, and AAA won that series, it's a modified best of 3, meaning that TSM must win 2-0. If they drop a map, they're out. AAA, basically earned their advantage. And that's actually, I think, a pretty fair way of running a tournament where, AAA basically have deserved that, that they should be in the advantage here. They beat them last time. That should count for something. If you assume that, Fnatic is a team that will never drop a map, that is the impeccable team here, and they still haven't dropped the map, so that kind of makes sense. Everyone would lose to Fnatic, so, AAA is rewarded for their efforts in winning that game in the bracket play. So TSM must go 2-0, and of course, from the loser bracket to the winner's bracket in the championship match, that's again a modified best of 3 because one of them's a winner bracket team, one of them's a lower bracket team. So the story of Team SoloMid is they have to go 4-0 in this tournament. They have to 2-0 AAA, they have to 2-0 Fnatic if they want to win. Now they can do it. They've realized finally the power of Captain Teemo, and so I think they've got a good shot at this.
That's definitely a possibility. I have to be wildly honest there. So Team SoloMid now have a lot of pressure on them. As you mentioned, they've got possibly, if they win this game, they have to win 4 maps in a row to win the tournament against Fnatic, who first day not the most consistent team, day 2 and 3 absolutely unstoppable actually so far from what we've seen of them. Against All Authority again, they lost 2-0 to Fnatic, didn't quite get started in the first game. Second game was an amazing matchup. And what are your thoughts on this one? I know you're probably going to be rooting here for Team SoloMid to be pushing through, just so we can see the whole Europe against America grand final.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, right, I want TSM to win that first game so we can have at least 2 games in this series. I am always rooting for the one who's behind because I want to see more games. I want to cast more games. It's more fun for everyone here. It's much more fun for me. It's more fun for the players to play more games. I just think that's always awesome. Now, overall, I'm gonna root for TSM. It's gonna be true. I'm gonna try to not be too biased. Like I flamed for that day 1 a fair amount. I think I toned that down at least a little bit in day 2 and 3 so far. But yeah, I would love to have that TSM versus Fnatic storyline in the end. I don't know. I just think it's a fun storyline to have, and I just think it's cool to have those games up and have North America take a top 2 slot.
Yeah, I think it would be great for the community as a whole to see North America against Europe final. I do think, though, Against All Authority are the big favorites coming into this one, due to the fact that we've seen them play a very, very solid tournament. Aside from the loss a little bit earlier on in the brackets to Fnatic, in the group stage they were, pretty solid. Team SoloMid, they really went down to the wire when it came to the group stage. The final game, obviously, if they won, they would go through, which is what happened. But if they'd have lost that, they would have finished last in the group, all on that one game, and of course would have gone home then. So a bit of a roller coaster ride for Team SoloMid into this. Against All Authority, they only have to win that one matchup, and I'm not going to predict anything for this one.
Really?
I saw some forum threads saying, Joe, please stop predicting. Yeah, okay then. I'm going to say 1-0 for TSM.
1-0 for TSM. I see what you're doing for that. Actually, we do have the game up. I totally forgot that we should probably be joining that one. TSM is AAA. Clicking that spectate button. Looks like we have 4 from TSM and there 5 from AAA. All the specs are in. Looks like Reginald now is in that slot. So we are ready over here. And thankfully, it's not a German keyword setting right now, so it looked like a Z on the key, but it came out as a Y, so I'm happy about that one, because typos make me sad. TSM Chaox says ready. Chaox seems to be the team captain every single time. He's the one who does the picks and bans, and he's really meticulous about it. He actually types in the champion name into the search box, and then clicks the only guy remaining there, just in case he physically typos with the mouse and clicks the wrong guy. So, Reginald...
Wait a second. Physically typos with the mouse?
So... I don't know. I'm sure that's the wrong term to say.
This is a new thing. We've seen new things this
Freak
tournament.
invents new phrases. If I were a German, it would actually be like 70 character long word because that's how they they put words together. But yeah, so it's, we're talking about a keyboard. We're talking about keyboard interface, and typically we're talking about using a keyboard. I said computer interface, or did I say keyboard interface?
I'm just going to let you carry on.
So I'm going to keep talking. So typically when using a computer interface, it's usually the keyboard, and when you mistype, it's a typo. Great. So far we're good. Now,
so when you miss with the mouse,
those are
it's
physically.
a clicko.
Those are no. So it's a physical typo. I don't know why I said physical typo. I just felt like it. But typo with a mouse, I think makes sense. It's a misclick. Yes, no, I could have said misclick. Now coming back to it.
Which is an old thing.
Yeah, never mind. Screw misclick, even though it's like the most default term ever used in gaming. Regardless, I'm smart. Joe clearly much smarter than I am. TSM still ready. AAA still not. Wait, okay, from Yellowstar. Yeah, Odd One asks, is AAA ready? Now, I'm actually, one thing I'm slightly intrigued about that I keep seeing is that TSM has 2 players named The Odd One, The Rain Man. They're even like almost equally spaced out. They're both 2 words afterwards. So I don't know, I feel like they should always be laning together, even though one's a jungler and one's a solo player. I feel like they should be like this cozy duo because their names fit so well together.
I'm glad that that's the standout factor in this deciders who goes through into the final to become having a shot at $100,000.
Yeah, right. We're talking about $100,000 tournament, but I saw team names, so I'm all about that. AAA back in the game. Looks like Yellowstar saying ready. TSM saying ready.
Here we go.
I am ready. Here we go. We are. Yes, we are into the game, or at least the picks and bans. AAA versus TSM. Apparently AAA, because of either the advantage from last time. Or simply by winning a coin toss. They are the first pick in ban. They're going to be deciding that very shortly. And J4, Jarvan the 4th, going to be the first ban.
Yeah, Jarvan, first one out there from Against All Authority. Rumble removed by TSM. That's not really a surprise. We've seen him being thrown out in, I think, 100% it maybe is, of North America versus Europe games.
I didn't know. We did see him once in CLG, not the relegation, but I think against Fnatic. That game they let Rumble stand, and that didn't go so well for them.
Yeah.
Annie banned out, definitely aimed at. That's Reginald, the mage player there. Corki band aimed at Yellowstar. That's pretty strong. Looks like Twisted Fate, Needly. A lot of these really top picks are still in. Vayne also in there. Nunu and Amumu are in. So TSM going for a very different strategy. They're not aiming their bans at Leonak, but instead aiming their bans at the general top picks they don't want to deal with. And AAA bans Singed. That's pretty cool there. Rayman did play him once to pretty good effect earlier. TSM did take a 1-2 series against All Authority last time these guys met. And the final ban is Vladimir, which I'm not sure is that really a champion that moment, and so I was like to play?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a strange ban with the instant pick onto Vayne. Yellowstar, again, locked in so far with Cleanse and Flash. He really is one of the few carries who runs Cleanse still. And he seems to really be the most standout ranged AD player among this tournament. He's consistently been top minion kills, and he's almost always been running Cleanse. Now actually he is going Ghost and Flash. Maybe it's Cleanse with Corki. Special one. TSM, they're getting the fast Twisted Fate. They've left a lot of good champions in. They're going to grab TF. That's going to go onto Reginald. They're going to be happy about that one. And Special grabbing the Alistar as well, that cow being picked up. I'm a little bit surprised at picking up that early because Alistar does not seem to be a champion that AAA has ever played. They're usually more about that Sona, Janna, Taric, those 3 for their support choice. And there's the Malzahar from Leonak, not too worried about that. A couple of great mages still in there, like Needly. They're going to grab Nunu, actually. They're going to take a fast jungler out of there, so still not yet quite the Malzahar. There's the Malzahar on a Soaz right now. Could trade that with Moma. Karth is still in. A lot of great choices still available. This is honestly very, very open. There are not a lot of super high topic bans because of the Annie and Jarvan and Singed ban. Those are not the high, heavily contended champions there. So there's a lot of ridiculously good picks still in the pool.
Yeah, and Leonak obviously getting Nunu, that'll be a great thing for him, his main champion. And that'll be one very happy Leonak coming into this one. The Odd One actually looking like they're going to go with Warwick as their next choice, pick number 3. Oh, wow.
Yes, they've locked in with Teemo. Okay, I already got my fanboy moment last time. Daniel Klein applauding in the audience. Thank you, Xena.
The only one, by the way.
The only one, by the way. That's fine. I really, really like TSM's lineup here. Aside from getting that Warwick pick, these are all champions that I know these players play a lot. Reginald loves that Twisted Fate. Rayman, Teemo, obviously. Especially seems to be on Cow more than anything else when I see him play in tournaments. So TSM's really happy with their lineup. Yellowstar I've not seen play Vayne many times, though. He's such a mechanically strong player, and Vayne scales so well that he's going to be difficult to deal with. Sion, interesting. We have not seen Sion yet this tournament at all. If that stays in there, the thing is, Sion can beat Teemo top. I think that's what it's about. Is they're saying, okay, we're going to counterpick this Teemo, not affected by blind by really any meaningful, in any meaningful way. That shield's going to soak up that poison damage when he goes in for a harass. Teemo doesn't have enough upfront damage to block out that shield, so he can walk up there, hit him with a stun, walk up, blow up the shield. That's apparently the animation for blowing up a shield. And forcing Rain Man back. So that's going to be really, really powerful there. And Kuja picking up Janna, that last pick. All the supports were available, aside, I guess, from Cow, and they're going for Janna as their big pick there. So Janna, Vayne bottom lane, Malzahar mid, Nunu in the jungle, and Sion up top. And they have a pretty good lineup because both Janna and Nunu can give really concentrated buffs to Vayne. And again, Vayne, a very hard skilling champion, is going to be really nice for her.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier on, Yellowstar, we've not seen him play. I'm not sure if we've seen him play Vayne at all, but definitely not so often. He's been focusing quite a lot of Ashe. Misfortune, we've seen him picking up quite a few times as well. So we just wait for Reginald for the last pick for TSM.
It's for Chaox, and with Corki and Vayne gone, they're going to go Cho, and that's going to go to... Wait, I thought... Interesting. I guess it'll go to Chaox. Chaox normally doesn't play Cho'Gath. Normally it's the Rayman who plays that. But if they put the switches in, Reginald with Ghost and Flash, Chaox going to be playing the Cho'Gath. That's actually a nice wall of tanky men's right there, because Rayman does go tank Teemo. They've got Cho, Alistar, and Warwick up there. This is an interesting lineup. We saw TSM run this before against All Authority. In Game 2, they ran a tanky man's lineup, and they're doing it again. Because they're going to roam Alistar, so Chaox can solo bottom. And Rayman can solo top. So they're going to have triple solo with a roam Alistar. And, with Reginald, with that global teleport, and every one of these lanes actually has some decent focus. Yeah, this could work really well for them, actually. This could be a good lineup. And I think I said that last time to myself. I wasn't casting the Game 2 of TSM versus AAA, but the Tanky Man's lineup started out really, really strong. They just got outscaled late game. But I think, since the Rayman goes Blood Razor, since Warwick can also go Blood Razor, they can and Chaox has that true damage onto Cho'Gath, and TF can do so much in a late game situation. They might actually have solved their late game problems, where it was Jarvan and Aurelia and Jungle Nocturne, I think, were the main damage dealers there, and they couldn't really keep up throughout the game. They had Zillion as well, who doesn't really scale that well throughout the game. I remember the commentators talking about how he has one damage spell, and you can cast it twice, but that's it. There's no DPS left, and so it was the armor stack to the win. But now it's a lot of magic damage and Tanky Man stack. This is actually a really good lineup for TSM.
And what about against All Authority? I mean, we've seen Yellowstar taking Sion.
So Soaz is going to be on Vayne. Interesting. I actually predicted that one wrong. Moma is going to be the one on Malzahar, but Yellowstar... he's normally the AD player, so interesting. I guess Soaz is the person who actually has practiced Vayne. And so Yellowstar says, well, I know how to play Sion. It's cool. They sort of said to themselves, okay, who's going to be on Vayne? We're going to grab this one because I know TSM wants her. And so it's like, oh, I got this, no problem. And they're actually, interesting enough, they're actually leaving Needly out as well. And so I was known for Needly. And so I'm surprised, we've had these hate bans against Needly specifically. And they're like, what? It's not part of our lineup. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, we've seen Needly banned in really a high percentage of games throughout this tournament. We are going to get things started here. So, Freak, your predictions for this game?
I think TSM's got this game. I really like their lineup. I think they're very strong. Linak's going to be a pain to deal with. It's a bunch of melee characters against Absolute Zero, which is difficult. The number of stuns, Cho, Alistar, Twisted Fate, and Warwick, it's enough to block that out. Otherwise, there's no... there's also the channel from Moma, but... even though the Diagro is strong from AAA, both with Nunu and with Janna, I think they have to win this, and I think they have a good chance of doing it regardless. So I'm liking TSM for this one.
Be interesting to see Sion. Actually, we've not seen him in this tournament at all, and I saw a few threads on the forum about that one anyway. So let's have a round of applause. It is a deciding game to see who will go through to face Fnatic in the final, and of course, it's against All Authority against Team SoloMid.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. We are following Sion out of the base. AAA in the bottom left, the green health bars, the blue minions. Moma has joined the team with boots of speed and potions. He's ready to cast his Voidling Reginald. And, TSM constantly plays very aggressively in their early jungles. We saw them do a fair amount of good pain, almost getting first blood against Epic in that very, second game, I believe it was. I actually have now forgotten between all the games. I think it was game 2, and look at that. Wow, they've already jumped in there, and Jonna might just face check that brush. Will the Rupture land? Xpecial can flash that wall and land a Pulverize, so whoever decides to check that brush will get stunned good 2-3 times in a row. Reginald can lock one in as well in about the 3-second span they have. And Reginald, I think, trying to bait them right now. Looks like Xpecial going to jump over towards that cliff. Chaox can also throw out a nice Rupture and do some work there. Reginald really trying to bait them. There's only 2 major crowd controls that can hit him, Linux Snowball and Yellowstar Stun. Even though he might have gotten Shield first, probably not, but we check. And he's actually not learned to point anything, so for what that's worth, hasn't really aimed at anything just yet. TSM could take these Wraiths here. I'm surprised they're not going for anything. They have pinged back onto it. Looks like they will go back in. That seems like the smart idea. It should be free for them. The Clairvoyance goes down. Yes, they're going to go ahead and lock in that the red card, and Xpecial will stun, and there we go. These minions are going to drop down rather quickly. Xpecial getting a lot of nice air effect damage out there with... and Reginald going to last hit these few, going to get himself a nice amount of gold ahead. And it's really smart that they actually left one of the Wraiths there, because that means Nunu will not be able to do a lot there. Momo going to go ahead and pull those minions back. Yellowstar going to help with a shield. But yeah, there's only going to be one Wraith, which is actually going to hurt Nunu's jungle pattern a little bit.
And as they separate off the lanes, we're going to be seeing Teemo and Alistair going down bottom, obviously against Vayne and Janna. As we said before, up in the top lane is Sion against Cho'Gath.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting lane of champions who can pretty much sustain themselves quite well, who are champions that gain a lot of health over time. And they're pinging. They know that Nunu is coming for that buff. Looks like, yeah, Cho'Gath pulls back. And I think that Linek was told that Cho pulled back, so that gank's not going to mean much. You see Chaox checking that brush, walking back into the lane, and yep, Nunu is going to head back down, realizing that he can't do too much out of this. Went Boots, health potion, and a ward. Put that ward down in the river to keep himself safe from potential ganks and also to watch Sion. And yeah, he's not going to be able to do the anti-jungle. That's pretty smart from TSM, knowing that timing. The odd one, a very powerful jungler, and so he can definitely count those times out.
Soaz doing his best to put as much damage as he can onto Rainman down at the bottom. Try and keep that Teemo a little bit annoyed, keep him back, zone him out away from all that experience, which is so far working out quite nicely. And against All Authority are going to have a decent stack pushing up there. Up on the top lane, you can see that Yellowstar just annoying Chaox a little bit as well.
Yeah, Chaox getting pushed back to his turret. Thankfully, he has gotten a point in Vorpal Strike, so he's going to be able to last hit pretty strongly. He's now going to spam these down with Rupture. Going to pick up a decent number of them. One more hit on the turret, he's going to take that one. So look at the minions, 14 versus 15 on Sign. That's not too bad. Warwick running around his jungle doing well. He is level 3. Nunu actually waiting in the wings to find Reginald. The only level 2, though, thanks to the early play by TSM, keeping Linek from getting the full EXP from that Wraith camp. And it really did. That was the factor that kept Linek from getting level 3. So Warwick very much out jungling him now. Going to go for the level 4 pickup. Yep, has picked up the Wraith. Very much in the advantage now as far as experience is concerned. Linek not able to get really any progress done from his ganks. All the lanes are pushed back towards TSM's turrets. So TSM pretty happy about this, how this game is shaping up so far. And now that Yellowstar is out of mana, Chaox going to be able to regen a lot of health now off of these minions. Yellowstar not able to harass him anymore. That Doran's Ring going to give him some mana regen, so that'll change pretty soon. But yeah, Chaox back to almost full health thanks to last hitting talents. And let's see, action in the jungle. Yes, Linek fighting against Warwick a little bit. Alba not even using a health potion to clear that. Linek still only level 2 and has just not jumped into the bottom half of that jungle.
Yeah, not having the greatest of times is Linek at this point of it. We'll actually see a Clairvoyance put down. Linek is still hanging around, and he may just try something here onto Chaox as they start to push in. And Chaox, of course, so close to that tower. There's nothing that Against All Authority will be able to do to him in that one. Down on the bottom, pretty similar situation as to what we saw earlier on, which is TSM being completely zoned out of that experience. Just playing things a little bit more defensive at the start of this one. Don't want to get caught out. And we actually see a bit of a push here, possibly. Yeah, Soaz is actually going to dive himself in. Rainman does back off a little bit, but Rainman is still taking a lot of damage. And actually the tumble came out, and Rainman down to around about 160 health after that little encounter.
Yeah, and that was definitely really close. Yellowstar, sorry, actually it's not Yellowstar, it's Soaz. I keep expecting it to be the ranged AD down there. Soaz definitely outlaning the Rain Man. You see Alistair with 4 CS, John with 0. It's going to be a little bit of that, but you see it. Teemo only with 18 minions, but wow, that Vayne with 35 is already upgraded to boots too as well. So full double the gold. or at least double the minions, that's going to be really, really powerful there. But, you know, Chaox holding his own up top. Twisted Fate versus Malzahar. Malzahar has 39. Twisted Fate with 37. So that's pretty equal. Reginald still with 3 health potions. Momo with 3 as well. So the players not harassing each other too much, relying on their base health regenerations and just last hitting as well as they can. We look at Chaox, the story up top, 42 versus 44. So a slight advantage there for TSM, but it's the only advantage they really have outside of the jungle. But that is a pretty strong story for them. Odd1 first level 5. We still do find Nuno at the bottom, going to get a slow auto special. Special could get shoved against the wall. Looks like that will not be the case, though. Soaz getting pushed back, and the nice blind from the Rain Man, and that should actually help their lane story, where Soaz can push the players around. But Rain Man, with a complete blind, all of Soaz's, well, almost all of Soaz's damage output is really going to come from those auto attacks. You know, whether it's through Silver Bolts or not, or Tumble, you still have to auto attack to make that happen. So the Teemo is a good counterpick for this one, and with her going Berserker's Greaves, not Mercury Treads, those blinds will last longer. And look at that, every time she tumbles, he puts in that blind. That's going to do a lot of work. I wouldn't be surprised if he were actually maxing that one just for that reason, but he is not. He's got 2 points into the poison damage over time, and that's how that lane's going to play out for now.
Yep, and we saw, as I turned my fog of war off by accident, Yellowstar has been back home. Does have boots, amp tone as well. Doran's ring obviously was right from the start. Sapphire Crystal collected as well. So nicely done so far by Yellowstar. He does have a slight advantage over Chaox, but he is going back now. So we'll see Chaox pick that one up again. And this could be interesting. We're actually getting the teleport down at the bottom here. It's Momo that will be jumping in. Ulti out onto the Rain Man. Surely they'll be able to finish him off. Pushed back by Vayne, and Rain Man goes down. First blood for Against All Authority. Nicely done by the French side, and they will take the first kill. And they've already got a pink ward down by Dragon, and this is a very early Dragon.
Yeah, it's a great play by them. They're going to pick this one up. It's funny because while they get this, I'm going to show you over in a second that TSM actually grabbed a fast pink ward to try to stop that very gank, and they put it in their own brush, but the teleport came in on this brush. So TSM tried, they learned their lesson, but it wasn't quite enough because, you know, they're pushed back to their own base. They said, you know, well, look, the teleport's not going to come in our brush. You know, it's not a big deal if they come down there. We shouldn't be in range. But they ended up getting pushed out, and that's when the teleport came in, and it worked so very, very well. And that's just wonderful play. Who needs Twisted Fate when you've got summoner spells? That teleport gank working so very powerfully. Yellowstar last hitting these purple caster minions. Chaox saying, you know what, that's fine. I can't do too much damage to you. You can just kill those. I don't really care about them too much. They're replaceable. And Yellowstar going to get up a little bit more bonus health, last hitting those with Enrage.
Twisted Fate just coming back in lane. Sheen picked up Doran's Ring Familiar and Boots now, as well as the usual health box, just to keep Reginald in that lane as long as possible. And if you look at the minion kills down on this bottom lane, 31 for Teemo and 59 for Vayne. So really great job so far from Soaz, and constant harassment onto Rain Man. Trying to keep him his creep score as low as possible, and so far it's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. This bottom lane is going so very well for AAA, not even just with that first blood gank, but the laning in general is working very well for them. You know, but here comes the gank on top. AAA Leonak coming in onto Chaox. Chaox is out of mana. He jumps into the brush, going to delay a little bit of time there. Leonak is going to come in with an Ice Blast, do a little bit of damage there, but it's not going to mean too much, as Momo continues to kill these minions off with Malefic Visions and his Voidling. To give him a nice bit of mana, though he doesn't really need it, but the gold income as well is strong. Twisted Fate now fighting against Yellowstar, and yeah, Sion's going to win that lane. He can definitely withstand almost all the harass that Reginald's going to throw in there. Looks like he might miss a few of these last hits thanks to the turret. No, he's actually timing these very well and picking all of them up for himself. Well played by Yellowstar, just watching for what that turret's going to do. Level 6 is here for both of these bottom lanes, though. Everyone's going to have their ultimates, except for Janna, actually. The odd one coming through with a ward. Of course, he does have that ultimate, so if they can get a pick onto Soaz or Kuja, Kuja is not level 6, so it's only going to be her Q that can break that ultimate, and they can maybe do something about this.
Yeah, and they don't know the odd one is there. He's spent a fair bit of time in that top bush, and just waiting until they clear out that minion line so he can sneak over into the other one without being spotted. And the ward that was in that brush is now gone, so it's a free reign for the odd one. Against All Authority playing this one fairly standard as you could expect at this point of the game. Playing defensive, sticking to that turret. And we actually see the flash in from Special, and he's on the turret himself, which is obviously going to give him a lot of damage. Twisted Fate is going to come down as well. Kuja is going to struggle in this situation, but Soaz is focusing in now onto Reginald. Kuja did go down within all that. Special is super low as well, and we're seeing Linak try his best to get this one. And actually, we're going to see Rainman go very low from that tower damage. In comes Sion. The kill comes out. Special is very low as well, and Yellowstar is starting to move his way over there. Let's see what he can pull off. And Special did manage to get around. Stun, of course, coming out as well. The blast comes in from Linak, but Special will get himself out of that fight without dying.
Yeah, and the other one with the red buff is going to be able to slow Linak down a little bit, but he is Nunu bot, and he's going to be okay. The end result there is 2 for 2. They did get the kill onto Vayne and Kuja. The other one did live. He was carrying an Oracles. That is very important, but both ranged ADs did die. The kills, though, both went to Teemo, and that is good. You want Teemo to get that gold. Nunu got both of them. That's Linak, so he'll get nice and tanky, and that's good. You know, Linak will get nice and durable there. He's going to get, you know, the 600-some gold from all those kills, but ultimately Teemo getting 600 gold from the kills, much more important. So while that did trade equally, I think it's an advantage there for TSM.
We see the third Doran's blade just being picked up by Rainman. And over on the other side, Sion is actually looking very, very strong. Needlessly large rod already collected. Obviously, we saw him with the amplifying tone earlier on as well. The last time he went back. Down in bottom, we could see a bit more action here. So as tumbling into a fairly aggressive position there as well. And Special decided to get himself away. Obviously, the mushroom, or a satellite dish as it actually is with this skin, into that top bush. So, nice bit of play from TSM. We'll see, though, how this one holds up. They are still 1 kill behind, and round about 1,200 gold as well.
Yeah, the thing that we realize about the global gold here is that you know, basically, right now AAA is winning by about 1,000. They did get 1 more kill. That was a first blood kill. So that's worth about 600 gold if you include the assist right there. And they have 1 dragon to none. But if you count all the minion kills together, it's about 300 to 400. Multiply that by 2, and that's how much gold Twisted Fate's ultimate is giving his team. So he's keeping the gold closer than it would have been thanks to that passive. I think I said ultimate there on accident. And this could be dangerous. Odd One's going to clear out a ward. He puts down one of his own. Linak really wants to take over that golem. He has his own oracles. He's been clairvoyanced, and the Odd One knows what he's going for. So they're going to keep staying here. They're going to bait that out. Janna is near Nunu, and actually, I think they know when the dragon respawn is because he's staying really, really close to that. He's starting to plan a gank down here at bottom, and it looks like Warwick's going to be safe to pick this one up for himself. So he's going to get the golem buff. No big problems there. Linak not able to push into that. He's going to stand on a mushroom, but you know, it's Nunu. He can heal himself, say yummy afterwards. Not going to be too big of a problem.
Up at top, we've got now Reginald against Momo, which is what we saw right at the start of the game until Momo went up there to take on Cho'Gath. And they've now switched it all back up with TSM. And we see another pink ward being dropped by Chaox just into the bush there in the bottom river area. Down at bottom, Warwick is hanging around, the Odd One just behind the turret. As we see a ping coming off onto Reginald. Yellowstar really wants to go in for this one. Moma just trying to bait him out that little bit, and I think they're going to go for a dive on this one. Here we go. Yellowstar will get the stun in. Can they get in on time? Yeah, there we see the suppression coming out, and Reginald is dead. It's Moma that picks up the kill. Nicely done from Against All Authority. That gives them back that 2-kill lead, and TSM are going to use this opportunity to get themselves a dragon. They need to be careful though. Linak is hanging around. Janna will come up from the other side. Soaz is already there, and Soaz will of course be the focus of this attack. Soaz does go down very, very quickly, and Kuja will be the next one to follow if he's not careful. There's the flash out. We'll get back to the safety of his turret. Dragon, of course, wasn't taken down, so TSM will try for a second time to get that one. And the 3 mushrooms from Teemo will give them a bit of protection as well.
And they have 2 Riggles, which is so incredibly powerful. They do get that dragon kill. Good job by them. They've brought this game back to a, looks like an 800 gold game, which is not much at all. Sadly for AAA, I don't think they had any wards in inventory. Actually, well, Jonah has 2, but she might have bought that after coming back. Moma's teleport was up. I was checking for that. And so, the right play when you get ganked by 2 people up top is to take Dragon, because you have the advantage there of an automatic 4v3. That said, when you have a champion with summon or teleport, you can turn that back into a 4v4 if you find a ward to teleport onto. Additionally, though, that could have been bad, as Reginald Ultimate was maybe up and turning that back into a 5v4, so the numbers game could have been all kinds of crazy, but I thought that if they had a ward that AAA could have stopped that, but the great jump in from TSM managed to pick up that kill onto Vayne, keeping her from farming for a couple more seconds, and getting some nice gold picked up onto Cho'Gath, which is, a guy that actually I think has more offensive potential than Nunu, and he's going to be a better place to get those kills on.
Middle could be under siege here in a second. LeNac headed more possibly into the jungle. Yeah, he's actually just going to ward up by the ramp into that jungle over on the TSM side. We'll see Cho'Gath portal in home. Down on the bottom, fairly even stuff once again. If we look at the minion kills, which a little bit earlier on Teemo was struggling behind, it's now 108 for Vayne and 90 for Teemo, so still a little bit behind, but it's not quite as bad as it possibly could have been at that earlier stage of the game.
Yeah, and with those 17 minion kills on Alistar versus 5 on Jonah, they basically tied that one up as far as, the bottom lane net farm goes. And the thing I really like about TSM's lineup is that every one of their champions actually farms well with gold. Even the support there on Alistar, I mean, as you saw, the damage output though on KX is massive. Even with 119 magic resist, the total burst damage that Sion and Malzahar can put out is massive. And there comes Reginald going to jump down onto the bottom lane, and they have found Kuja, and Kuja not going to be happy about that one. Puts a shield on herself, but that should be a kill. They do pick that one up, but now Chaox going to get jumped on potentially in a 1v3. The knob comes up, and yes, they pick up Moma. The odd one coming in on that one. Yellowstar now getting slowed down by the Lizard Buff. Chaox should have a Rupture available soon. That will land, but he will flash it instead. Great play there. They managed to kill Kuja, which means an Oracles is gone. 3v0 at the bottom turret. Wonderful play by TSM, bringing the advantage back to 400 gold down, which is pretty good. They've gotten a 5v4 now on the total champion kills, and now with that turret kill, are winning for the first time in this game by the only metric that's really not tied, and that's kills and gold.
Great stuff from TSM to turn this one around, and Chaox obviously doing a great job there to turn that little attack around.
And one thing I find very interesting that Yellowstar has done, and I've seen this actually a couple times from, I think it might have been AAA specifically, but EU teams playing Sion, is the boots of mobility Sion. Normally on North America you see them go Sorcerer Shoes. You go standard AP burst carry, where you go Fast Rabbidan's Death Cap, Void Staff usually right after, Sorcerer Shoes and all that. But the European style is like, no, you get a Fast Sheen and you get boots of mobility. You're more of a ganker. You do burst damage with that Sheen, adding you about 100 damage on your combo. You get boots of mobility to get different different lanes and get the damage on the combo. And Yellowstar is going to go and face tank that turret. Will not take a Rupture most likely, but his damage output quite high. Stuns Chaox, shields out these minions, getting himself a lot of health. 1991 right there, rank 1 of Enrage, giving him 1 health per minion kill permanently. And at 179, that's a decent amount of health actually. Chaox, of course, his ultimate with Feast, every time he kills something with that, gains some health until he dies. So he's up to 2,600 with almost no health items.
And the bottom area of the map is a really dangerous one right now. Look at the mushroom coverage from the lovely Teemo. It looks like Yellowstar might actually try to take this bottom area. In fact, he's going to come in. Rayman was stealthed up in the bush there. Ironically, Yellowstar's shield timed out just as he was right next to Rayman as well.
Yeah, and I was
doesn't get much luckier than that.
Yeah, I was curious why he wasn't recalling. He's like, you're going to die, recall. No, Sion's right there. What do you... Oh, right. He's invisible. I completely forgot about that.
Really?
Seriously, that's even part of the song. You won't see me step into the brush, I'm invisible. And forgot that was like a core tenet of how Teemo can play. So he completely played that one correctly. That shows that he plays Teemo more than I do. I just been pressed B and prayed, and well, it worked out for him. So good job there on the Rain Man. And I'm sure the forums are alight with how I'm talking about how great TSM is playing right now. I do at the very least want them to win this one game. I do want to see a game 2, but they are playing a very strong game. I like their lineup more, and they're doing a couple of cool things. But AAA, though, doing the right thing with coordination. They've got 5 in mid, doing a wonderful job here. John taking some damage, but they're in good shape for this fight.
Yep, and we see them back away. LeNac was taking a bit too much damage. Yellowstar maybe going to get in there? Will we see this fight kick off? That is the question. So as trying to do some damage onto Chaox, which is not going to be too much, and Alistair can heal that up instantly. And it looks like Against All Authority will decide not to fight this one out, as Yellowstar almost getting caught by those cards thrown out by Reginald.
And a blue buff.
TSM,
Go ahead.
Are they going to steal? No. The blue buff wasn't up anyway.
Yeah, a blue buff card master is one of the more difficult poke champions to deal with. Now, it's known Nidalee who can heal as well as poke, but Twisted Fate, that goes down to a 3-second cooldown with max CDR, and he's got a nice 143 ability power, so he can basically throw those out. He can almost full clear a minion wave with that. The red card plus wild cards should get the melee. The wild cards, oh, he's got to be careful. Cyan is coming on to Reginald, and with those boots of mobility, he moves quite quickly. Reginald did not quite need to flash just then. The minions did proc onto that shield and keep him out. But, you know, oh well, you know, smart by Reginald at least to stay alive. You can see he drops those melee minions down. Wildcards come out. He's going to last hit the rest of those. And now, you know, 200 gold apart in this game, not bad at all. That, or as Rivington would say, that doesn't suck.
It indeed doesn't suck. That's a good one.
Yes. So,
Dragon these up.
Yeah, and both teams know.
Yeah, TSM already out there at the front entrance. There is a ward in that bush, so they do have vision. Linux trying to possibly bait them a little bit further out. Against All Authority, look like they want to go for this one. Linux clears out the mushrooms with himself, using himself as a meat shield to get rid of those mushrooms. Yellowstar just trying to get them in. Looks like TSM will go for this one. Linux a little bit slow to move away, but won't be picked on. And I think they may possibly go in for this. Yeah, no, they're not going to. Twisted Fate is going to come in. Nope, Twisted Fate
cast the ult,
pushing the top, yeah. And Dragon is going to go to Against All Authority.
Dragon does go to AAA, but Reginald should be in good enough position to take this turret down. He will lock in a red card, throw that damage output, that Sheen helping him a lot. I think he used the ultimate a little bit too early because he might want it to escape. But I guess he'll get this turret for free. Blue card comes in. Yeah, he will drop that turret down. Now, can TSM hold this turret in a 4v5? If they can hold the turret, it's a good trade for them, but the odd one taking a lot of damage up front. Yellowstar in the front now with that shield on. Nope, that's a bad trade for TSM. They've lost a second turret, and that is not happy right here. So, wow, yeah, AAA going to keep pushing in. They're going to get a little bit of free damage on that turret before Reginald can come back. The ping is off on Lizard buff, and AAA is off to the races. They've been clairvoyants, but they're going for Lizard, and they will get this one quite easily. TSM not quite able to stop them unless they can go really, really fast, but I think this is going to go to Soaz pretty much for free. Tumble, yep, there's the damage output. We'll pick that one up. Rupture not coming out in time. They do know where they're going. They could chase this one. But yeah, that went great for AAA. That overall play was wonderful for them. They didn't panic about Reginald pushing top with Twisted Fate. They just went over towards mid, took that 5v4, took that first turret down. Now they have position for another turret grab, though. TSM will probably pick this one up quite nicely. Cho is kind of locked off right here. This could be a lot of damage, but will flash. Has to burn that, so a little bit out of position there. But they've equalized those turret counts. Now what will they do? Because Yellowstar is actually out of mana pretty much. That's going to be kind of a big deal, especially taking a lot, but we'll pop the ultimate. He should be safe for now. Momo going to jump on, but not getting a lot from that absolute zero either. And where's the team fight? Looks like the Odd One is the one taking damage. So is getting away pretty safely. Odd One almost dead, but won't quite die. A giant pulver is going to keep him up, and they will make it out there. The Rayman still coming around the back. Leenock taking some damage. So as he could die to ignite. No, the shield comes up and saves him just in time. Reginald will he pick one up with this? Everyone is low. Everyone is low, but they can't quite get one. Looks like no. Reginald shows up, and Leenock will go down, but Reginald will follow immediately afterwards. Soaz and Nunu went down, so Nunu and Vayne dropped for one. That was beautiful. Well played by Reginald, baited the team in, and then Rayman picked one up as he jumped in. So that was great by TSM. That fight was super close, but TSM, those last 2 minutes were perfect by them, and they managed to bring the score back. 300 gold down only. Turret kills are 3-3, champion kills 7-5, but they're down one Dragon, and that's why the gold is not in their favor right now.
Momo is actually in the jungle, and yeah, as he hits that mushroom, he decides, probably not best if I stick around here too long, but he will hang around long enough to take that golem buff. He's got his dot on it as well. There's another mushroom hit for Momo, and that's one thing that Teemo is really going to annoy Against All Authority with, as they start spreading these mushrooms left, right, and center.
Yeah, and actually all the deaths are on the Rainman and Reginald right now. The only champions they have killed are Teemo and Twisted Fate. They are, well, the only ranged champions in the team, so it's actually really good focus by AAA to kill the more squishy ranged guys. They have not wasted their damage to any of the melee ones. Chaox, Xpecial, and the Advent have all kept themselves alive in these fights, though they got very low. They are the ones who have survived so far. The Advent having a Spirit Visage now. Heart of Gold in there as well. Let's look at the tanky counts. 2100 on that Warwick, 20, exactly 2k pretty much on Alistair. 2600 on Show. Look at the melees over here. We've got 22 on Sion, 22 on Nunu. So without counting resistances, TSM's a bit more tanky for sure. And we'll see if they can make this happen as this game moves on.
Ward's cleared out. Linak does have the Oracle's Elixir, and it looks like they may go straight in for this top turret. And as you can see on the minimap, TSM wouldn't be ready for that one. Yeah, Yellowstar is going to go in there. When he pops his shield, that entire minion wave will go down. And now TSM are starting to work their way over to defend this top turret. But against Soul Authority, are they going to go in for this one? Not 100% sure that they will. They left it a little bit long. And Linak just trying to bait him out here with the recall. And didn't quite work out as expected. Chaox did go down to around about 2/3 of his health. I think against Soul Authority, you're going to go for this one.
You have a good chance of this one for sure. Looks like Twisted Fate will keep pushing bottom lane. Can TSM keep going alive? They need to keep AoE spamming these minions down, otherwise that turret's going down below half health. They have not really initiated this fight just yet. TF doing a ton of damage. They're getting that one down below a third as well. It looks like actually TSM will hold the push back, and TF's going to get the kill on that turret, but here comes the giant initiate from AAA. They will pick that one up. There are some Teemo Mushrooms in the way, so it should help deter that push right now, but the Oracles helps them a lot. They've killed these Teemo Mushrooms for nothing. TF has not ulted and has not recalled, so I don't know if they're going to keep pushing like this. I don't know if TSM can hold the turret. I mean, these 4v5s have been very difficult for them. The poke is amazing from AAA, and if they initiate a fight before, they can win the game outright. Reginald still pushing around. Linak in the base this time. Again, the silence on KX, and there's the ult from TF. Xpecial in the front. They have caught Yellowstar a little bit. The Janna going to push all of TSM back, and KX going to go down for free, and AAA still 5 strong, pushing into the base. The odd one not in good shape here. Takes a stun to the base. Reginald takes a silence, and now Vayne is chasing in. Reginald is below half health. All of AAA is about to half health. They have no real healing abilities left on that team. The spam from Twisted Fate is good, but they're going to lose an inhibitor for this, almost definitely. So AAA coming out on top here. 2,000 gold ahead, which is not a ton, but their team fights have been exceptionally strong. The damage output is super high, and they want to keep that train rolling.
Yeah, doing really great at this point, and we are going to see them all blue pill back home. Shopping is the subject of this one, and Bloodthirster is on SOAS now. Obviously the Triple Doran's Blade plus those Berserker Greaves from earlier. And a couple of pings going off. Did they clairvoyance or was there a ward there? Not 100% sure, but they definitely know that TSM are around. And we are seeing the Lizard buff going to be picked up here any second by Teemo.
They finally get their own buffs this time. You know, the Golem was stolen by MoMA, the Lizard was stolen on the way out of that middle push, and so with the 2-buff advantage, it really did help them in the team fights a lot. While the gold was similar and the champion levels were similar, when you've got an extra Golem and Lizard buff over your opponents, that's pretty big, and that does help you win a lot of team fights there. If they had, you know, infinite cooldowns and infinite mana regeneration on, say, Cho'Gath, he could have spammed AoEs on those minions a little bit harder, kept those turrets alive. But AAA putting on a great show so far. They've actually come in to fight on the Dragon now, and Vayne throwing out lots and lots of damage. She is 0-3-5, but her damage output still quite good. 169 minion kills, 234, 231 from other teammates, and yeah, overall the minion kills are much stronger, I think, on AAA, and they're actually ready to push bottom as well. Take a second turret here. They are up 6-4 on turrets, and yep, they're ready to go for this. TSM is not ready at all, actually. They were all on the left-hand side. I think they were afraid of Baron. AAA going to get a turret for free, absolutely. Now, can TSM hold this one off? Twisted Fate been throwing out cards so far. Yellowstar, though, still in good shape. There's a shield coming up. They've got to be afraid of this one. The sounds comes out, kills some of these minions. They're going to keep chasing down the odd one very, very far in front, taking a ton
ton of damage right there. And there we go, the push onto Soaz, and Soaz almost definitely going to drop down, and here comes the rest of the push. Absolute Zero is on from Nunu. That's going to hurt, but it's okay so far. Raymond going to push onto LeNac. He's taking a lot of damage. Down to the bottom, looks like Chaox will get that kill, but it's a 5v3. Yellowstar going to pill back immediately, though he's spotted by Warwick, and the rest of the team is going to chase down. Momo going to throw down a silence. Odd One still nearby. They should be afraid of the burst damage combos. Momo still has all of his cooldowns left available. Now TSM could go for a Baron. They do have 2 Madrids on their team, as they have the Ruggles Lantern from Warwick and the Madrid's Blood Razor on the Rain Man, so they could definitely go for a kill on Baron. I think the turrets will keep their base alive just barely, especially since Twisted Fate has come back. His ult is down, but he can do enough damage. And oh, AAA, smart, going for the kill on the turrets instead. They said, you can have Baron, we're going to kill a second inhibitor, and maybe you can keep yourselves alive with the Baron Golden Experience, but can you keep your base alive? That's what really the game ends with. So TSM going to be hard pressed to do this one correctly. They are going to keep staying on to Baron. They will lose a turret for this, and AAA will almost definitely go for the inhibitor right afterwards. And wow, Vayne and Nunu are coming. They're going to keep trying to delay that recall, and if they can do enough damage, the blind is out from the Rayman. Here comes the Ice Blast. Rayman taking a ton of damage from Soaz. Soaz will pick up that kill, though he is low. The Baron down to about a quarter health. The Odd One taking a lot of damage. Chaox not picking up the kill onto Soaz. The Odd One probably going to die to LeNac. He's trying to gain health, but LeNac will throw out an Ice Blast, and yeah, I guess he'll be okay. Alistair is back to help TSM Reginald, and they have kept their inhibitor alive. Warwick, can he do enough? LeNac in there, has been silenced now. He's going to keep life-stealing Odd One, doing what he can. There is the teleport in from Twisted Fate. Will he jump onto Soaz? No, he will not. I think that might have been a mistake not to pick that one up. Instead, he will teleport basically nowhere. And an unfortunate attempt at Baron. TSM not getting that one out. 8 turrets to 4 now the score, and 4,500 versus 45,000 versus 40,000 gold. AAA definitely winning this game now.
Yeah, they've put themselves really into that driving seat, and with the Baron not going down, that inner turret being lost as well for TSM, they're in a very difficult position. We'll see what happens now that Against All Authority do have all 5 guys back and active. We've seen the Banshee's Veil being picked up by LeNac on Nunu. Soaz just farming a little bit. Does have the Phantom Dance plus the Bloodthirster. As you mentioned, the AP already building up is pretty nice for Moma. 497 he does have, plus the Elixir as well. So he's going to be very strong and very difficult for TSM to contain. And the next time that we see the push from Against All Authority, the Golem buff is there as well. So Against All Authority should be able to take this one away. There was a Teemo Mushroom there that they popped, so TSM know where they are. But Against All Authority just clearing out this jungle completely. Yellowstar will finish them off, just getting that extra experience. Doesn't want to leave anything behind. Inhibitor will respawn, but they are going to push in for this lower inhibitor now. Obviously that shield from Yellowstar will finish pretty much all those minions off, but we will actually see the fight coming in now, and Xpecial will be blown away by that ulti from Janna. Chaox is the focus of a lot of damage, and it's LeNac who's in there. Now could be in trouble. He gets himself stunned. Xpecial still causing some problems. He is going to be focused down. Surely will be killed. Yes, he will be. And now we see Against All Authority pushing in for even more kills. Reginald is surely going to have to back away. Xpecial does go down. Yeah, Reginald will back away. That inhibitor will fall. And there's not much that TSM can do. Reginald just has to hope that he can somehow put up some kind of defense, because these Nexus turrets are being destroyed one by one, and Against All Authority are just going to run straight through their Nexus now completely open to attack, and surely this is a good game. Against All Authority are going to go straight in. That Nexus is going to fall, and we will see an all-European grand final here for Season 1 with $100,000. And, well, Against All Authority versus Fnatic.
Yeah, it's going to be a repeat of the winner bracket finals. I guess that's a good precursor there. Again, a weighted best of 3. AAA must win 2-0. We saw them put on a great show in the second game against Fnatic. We're winning for some time. It's going to be up, I think, to picks and bans. You know, we interviewed the players right before that last game, and you know, they said it was about Ashe, about that Ashe arrow, you know, picking up those kills. Actually, no, that was Trieskimo here who's talking about, you know, the Ashe was going to pick up those kills. So I think she'll be the Coco champion more than Rumble, more than Twisted Fate. I think it's actually going to be on Ashe, and what can she do for those teams? And at midnight tonight, that is less than 4 hours away, we will have the grand finals. Against All Authority versus Team SoloMid. But don't go anywhere. We've got a couple of little bits of the show still in store for you, including, since I've been in Sweden unable to edit a patch preview video, I will actually give you the patch preview live. I interviewed Marilla already, so I know what's going on and what the rationales are there. But in case you're wondering, why that hasn't shown up this weekend so far, I'll be able to deliver that one to you here. So there is more for the show. Don't go anywhere. And plus, in 3.5 hours, the grand finals as well.
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah, we've been building up to this for a rather long time now.
2.5 days,
we are going
plus
to
11 months.
Plus 11 months. The 11th month is what I was focused on.
Okay.
Although these past 2.5 days have been long and pretty epic.
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're left with 2 teams, both of them European. Congrats to TSM for finishing in 3rd place. Let's not take anything away from them.
Absolutely
this
great
is
play
such a
from
strong
them.
competition.
Yeah.
Finished it in 3rd, the top finishing American side.
Yeah, so, EU going 1 and 2, USA going 3, 4, 5. And as we saw, from the qualifiers, I'm sure there are threads and threads and threads of EU greater than NA. Just, there are 50 of them right now and 50 more when I finish this sentence. But realistically, they went through the qualifiers and only, only 3 American teams, only 3 European teams went through there. But it was the best 3 European and the best 3 American teams. And the 3 American teams finished better than that 3rd European team. So Europe has the best 2 teams in the world, absolutely. Fnatic and AAA are phenomenal and arguably the best 2 teams in the world. But as for that fire of US versus EU, or NA versus EU, I should say, certainly not far behind. 3rd place team, not that bad. The average European team, right, definitely would lose to SoloMid. So I still feel good about my countrymen. I think we did well, or my continent men, I should say. There's plenty of Canadians around there as well. But certainly, earned your bragging rights against Authority and team, Fnatic team. The best teams in the world. Best teams in the world.
They've come through this one, they got through that qualifier, and they are now going to line up against each other in that grand final, which, as you mentioned, is scheduled for midnight here in Sweden, which is Central European time, -1 hour if you're in the UK, and you can do the maths for America, because I'm terrible at it.
3 p.m. in California, 6 p.m. in New York. In the middle there, you guys know how the time zones work. You'll probably make it out just fine. But again, the easiest way to say this is in less than 4 hours. So look at what time it is, add 4 hours, subtract like 15 minutes or so. That's when you want to show up. Everyone has their own clock, so set your timer. That's going to happen.
Make sure you're still awake if you're in Europe, and make sure you're awake in time if you're in North
Awake
America,
in time?
I guess.
If they're asleep now, how are we going to tell them to be awake in time? I mean, I guess if they take a nap?
That's a good point.
Well, actually, I guess, because the games start out early enough, players could be, staying up throughout the night. It's almost noon in California. Yeah, maybe they're taking a nap before the grand finals. That could be it.
Yeah, noon's not such a bad time. We're all gamers. Noon's a
I've stayed
decent
up till
time
noon
for waking
before.
up.
I've stayed up till noon before, so, okay. Yeah.
It could have happened.
I see it.
It's been a very long weekend.
It
And
has.
I'm sure some people out there have actually pulled, like, a weekend. They've watched the games during the day or at night, depending where you are, or in the morning, and then played all night long after that, and
I
then
don't know.
continued watching.
I mean, I like watching.
That's what I was going to do if I didn't come here. I had it all planned out.
I mean, I like watching tournaments as much as everyone else and playing as much as everyone else. I'm going to sleep between the games, though. If I'm going to watch something like Season 1 Finals, it's going to cut into my playing time more so than my sleeping, because if I'm, dragging my eyes open, I can't watch the games properly. I don't want to be like, oh, wait, I just woke up randomly, I took, a 5-minute nap because I was in my chair. There was a pentakill, what, and miss everything? I don't want that.
No, that ruins your viewing experience. So hopefully you've all had enough sleep coming into this grand final, because fingers crossed, it's going to be epic.
I think it will be. I think AAA has come in and done some really good things, and I think they have a chance. Momo looked so strong in that game, and ultimately I think Malzahar got underappreciated. That Vladimir ban I think was a mistake, because I think it was Malzahar that was crushing. Because you look at that lineup, and that's a lineup that gets beat by Malzahar, that gets beat by Null Zone, and even though Chaox, he rushed that Force of Nature onto Cho'Gath, and he had the Mercury Treads as well, he still got cut up by him. He still got cut down so incredibly hard. The double AP style from AAA has been so incredibly strong, and Yellowstar just tossed out damage after damage. The shields were 700 points strong at times. Brilliant pick that from Yellowstar. Yeah, that's a good adaptation from them. So I was moving over to the AD role, and Yellowstar taking AP. It worked great.
worked perfect. They're in the grand final now against Fnatic, which is not so far away, so I guess you guys got time to play. I think everyone that I've talked to, you know, over various different websites and communication tools have been like, yeah, I've been watching all weekend, but now I really have the urge to play. I'm sure, I'd like to know the statistics, maybe you can inform us one day. How many people played Singed in the last 3 days? Lots of them.
A lot of them.
Every game, probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, there was definitely the thread that I mentioned a little while ago. What lessons have you learned from playing Season 1? And there's a lot of people saying, like, everyone picking Gragas, everyone picking Singed, and failing. So, enough of me. We do have our interviews with the players. We're going to kick it on over to the interviews.
Hey everybody, it's Andrew Beagle once more, and I am here with X Special from the Team SoloMid. You guys have played some good games this week. How do you feel about it?
We definitely came out strong in our games. We're a little disappointed that we lost, but we did pretty well. We had a strong run, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Now, obviously, you only had one chance to win that first game. There was no best of two. What do you think were the big things that caused the defeat?
Well, we lost previously in our other best of 3, so that was really disappointing for us. But in this game, we tried something that we had to play against AAA, which was really good team. So we had difficulties with their teleport on Malzahar, and they came out with Sion, which we didn't exactly expect. So that was a bit difficult for us. But we did fairly well, but we still ended up losing. So.
One of the major themes for this tournament seems to be, the people from the U.S. having problems adapting to the European style of play. What do you think the major reasons that is, or that's been this week?
We know what they play. We watch streams. We know tournament style and stuff like that. But we don't have practice in that in solo queue, which is where most of our experience comes from. And Europeans, they play a lot of tournaments. We just don't have enough. We just need more experience. I think next time we have a LAN, we'll do better.
Awesome. Well, you know what? You're third place in the Season 1 championship, so pretty good. Everyone's been rooting for you, and you guys have demonstrated an outstanding sense of skill. What do you have next? Planned next for Team SoloMid? What are you going to do? Are you going to be trying to go to the WCG? What are the plans?
Well, we have to separate for WCG since our team is not all Canadian or all from the U.S. But we're going to continue to play, try and get better, work towards the next LAN, and just improve as a team.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and we've really enjoyed watching you over the week. We're going to kick it over to Karen with Console Authority.
Hi, it's Carrie Bear, and I'm here with Kuja from AAA. So we just saw an amazing match between you guys and TSM. What are your thoughts after that huge match?
Well, we really enjoyed play versus TSM as the last match we did versus them. They are really great opponent, and I hope in the future we will play them again.
I'm sure you guys will. Now, at the very end of that match, you guys had a really crazy moment where you decided to push the bottom turret when the team was going for Baron. Can you tell me, what your thought process was going through that moment?
Well, at that moment, we had a choice. Try to go to the Baron at 3, while the two other were respawning, and try to stop it, but we wouldn't have maybe stopped them. So we just went for the tower, since those last towers are so hard to kill, so that tower down was really great. Then when the two over started to went back, because if only Twisted Fate had come back, we would have pushed the inhibitor and everything else, so other player had to come back, so that forced them to stop the Nashor, and at the same time at 3 they couldn't do the Nashor, and our two player respawning just stopped them, so that was perfect timing.
Right, it was very dramatic and very well played. Now, in that match, what did you really have to focus on to get you through to that victory?
The Twisted Fate, be very careful about it. When it's level 6, you're like, oh my god, Twisted Fate is not here. He's gonna go somewhere. Go back to the tower. Go back, go back. So really the Twisted Fate, you need to be really careful about it.
Right, and you got to see, Twisted Fate being played by that team, previously in the day. So, I'm sure that really helped out, while you guys were studying the other teams. Now, so you guys are moving on to the grand finals. You're going to be facing off against Fnatic. What are you thinking? How do you feel about that right now?
Yeah, well, we are really happy to do a European final. That was what we were hoping for. They know us really well. We know them really well. So anything can happen. That, as the two last match versus them showed it, they know us so so well that they knew what we were going to pick and totally screwed us and did a really great outpick, outban on us. And the second game was really a little bit harder. We had it in game, but then they come back harder and we couldn't make it. So I hope that in this final, where we need to make a 2-0 win, we're going to find the good thing versus them and surprise them.
Great. Well, we're all really looking forward to it. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but stay tuned. We have a treat for you right after the quick commercials.
Summoners from around the world are flocking to Facebook and Twitter to talk about the Season 1 Championship right now. We're live tweeting the event and giving away the exclusive Viking Tryndamere skin all weekend. To find out how, follow Riot Pendragon and Riot Tammet for details.
DreamHack is here and our live coverage has begun. Over the course of the event, you can visit the Season 1 Championship website for lots of exciting updates, including matches streamed live with professional commentary, pre- and post-game interviews with the competitors, tournament brackets that update as games finish, photos from the show floor, and much, much more. So head on over to the event site and learn more about the League of Legends Season 1 Championship at DreamHack.